Hello, everybody. I'm Seth Weissman, and welcome to another episode of Safe Real Estate. Today, I'd like to talk about when you should use a pre-showing compensation agreement versus when you should use a broker compensation agreement. And what GAR tried to do in creating both of these forms is really to give you options as to how best to protect your buyer commissions in real estate transactions. And in doing that, I have noticed that a lot of realtors really just want one approach and don't want necessarily to have a lot of choices. But I think both forms have a place. And with regards to the pre-showing compensation agreement, I would be using that when you do not know what the compensation is that is being offered, and you submit something to the listing agent to try to find out and to get some clarification and certainty on. And frankly, I think the way the pre-showing agreement is going to end up being used is more by listing agents rather than buyer agents, because if you have a listing, you can go ahead and get the pre-showing compensation agreement signed and have it available to distribute to buyers or to buyer agents whenever they may want to know what is the compensation that is being offered. The broker compensation agreement is intended as an exhibit to the purchase and sale agreement. And frankly, if you get a pre-showing compensation agreement signed, you do not need to also have a broker compensation agreement signed. What you really want is one or the other of those forms signed, but you don't need both. If you don't have the pre-showing compensation agreement signed, I would make the broker compensation agreement part of the contract, and that then will specify how much you are being paid, and it will be signed off by the party who is paying the commission. And one of the things that is also different about these two forms is we are asking whoever is paying the compensation to either sign the pre-showing agreement or the broker compensation agreement. If the seller is paying the funds directly to the buyer broker, the seller should sign the form. If the seller is paying money to the listing agent, and the listing agent is then sharing it with the buyer broker, the listing agent should sign one of those two forms. In any event, I do think what will happen is as those forms start to be used, different practices will emerge, and I suspect that there will become procedures in place as to how both of these forms are routinely used. I hope this episode of Safe Real Estate has been beneficial. As always, it's great to see everybody. Please continue to tune in. Bye now.